I wanted to talk about one of my favorite aspects of PHP, and that it is much like the HTTP protocol, it's stateless. What we mean by stateless is that HTTP, the protocol, has no knowledge of the requests sent before that. In other words, we can send requests to a web server all day from a client, like our browser, but the server has no knowledge or doesn't retain any information about the request that we sent previously. It doesn't care where a request comes from. It doesn't care who sent it. It just cares about the information inside of that request, and then it can respond as appropriate. That is the essence of statelessness. Requests will not be associated with each other absent some shared info that a server knows about, which in most cases is a session or a cookie, and a cookie, I should say. So there's a few important points there. Every web request is its own thing, and it has no knowledge or it is not affected by the request that came before it or after. The web server might know that the request came from the same user because a request might have a cookie. That cookie might have a corresponding session stored in the server, and that lets you identify that a user is authenticated. But that's really it. Otherwise, your web server doesn't care where a request comes from or has no way to link two HTTP requests or together, right? There's no saved state unless your server, sets some mechanism of cookies and sessions and database and all that good stuff. Okay, so why am I droning on about this? Well, really what I want to show you is that PHP behaves differently from most other languages. We're going to see a few different languages just respond to an HTTP request and see a commonality between all of them, and then see why PHP is different. So let's head into our Go, and I'm going to run this Go web server. We'll head on over here and we'll see that every time I refresh the page, this global variable is increasing by 1, right? What's going on there? Well, let's go ahead and just see the server code, right? I have a global variable. The variable is a number, right? An int. Every time I go to the home page, I'm increasing the value of that variable by 1 and then displaying it, right? So this has global state, and the global state changes and is affected on each web request, and each web request to the same URI is different. It returns with a different value, right? That global variable is output, and it has a different value every time we go to that page. Weird, right? Not very HTTP-like. If we go into Node, we'll see the same thing. Node apparently can't be bothered to return the right content type header, but whatever. Every time we refresh the page, we'll see that we have an increasing variable there as well, right? The exact same story. We have a global variable set to 0. We increase it by 1 for every request and just output that value. We'll head into Python. In this case, we're using Flask, and we'll see, of course, the same things going on, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time I refresh the page, that global variable increases, right? Global variable 0, increase it by 1 for every request. Last, we have our good friend Rails. We'll start that up. Rails takes a second to boot up. And here, same thing, right? Global variable 1 increases every single time. In the case of Rails, the code is in play controller here. I have a defined global variable somewhere else. I don't remember where. And we just increase it every time we head or hit this controller. And then that is displayed in a view file, and the view file displays this stuff. And, eventually we see that the variable increases in value every time, right? Now, I think you know where I'm headed with this, right? We'll head to PHP. We'll start our PHP server here. In this case, it's a Laravel application. And let's head on over. Global variables 1. Refresh the page. Still 1. Refresh the page. 1, 1, 1, 1. It doesn't increase, right? PHP is different from other languages in that it grew up with the web. Every time PHP serves a web request, it is starting fresh from a clean state. It rebuilds its entire world on every single web request. That means our global state, our global variable, just gets reset to 0 every time and gets plus 1 when it hits our code here and shows 1, right? This is essentially stateless, just like HTTP is. There's no previous knowledge of the requests before it in PHP. It just spins up your framework or your code or whatever. It rebuilds this entire universe in every request, and we get this clean slate to work with for every request. So why is PHP different like this? Well, let's look at the history of PHP, right? I said before that it grew up with the web, and that is true. It originally was named Pretty Homepages or Personal Homepages. There's a lot of debate and variation on the first name there. Now it is actually called PHP Hypertext Preprocessor, and yes, that is a recursive acronym, right? PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Why is it called preprocessor? Well, it pre-processes your HTML. It historically ran in CGI. So basically what happened is someone sent their web request to your website. Your website supported PHP. This allowed you to mix PHP in with your HTML and add some dynamicism, right? Some dynamic stuff to your HTML output. Now, in a time before JavaScript was really king, this was really nice because you could do all sorts of fancy things to change and affect the output of your websites. Let's see what this looks like. This will be familiar to a lot of you, but some of you who have only ever used frameworks, it might actually be kind of new, right? PHP is essentially a templating language. It is mixed in with your HTML, right? We have an array called info, and it just has some stuff in it. And then down here in our PHP, we just do a for each over that array and list out the values in a list item, right? So what's that look like? It looks like this. Every time we refresh this page, we're getting the same output here. It's an unordered list. Each list item just has exactly what we output, items from that array. It's created dynamically though, right? It's generated dynamically. PHP is affecting the output of this HTML. It's pre-processing the HTML, and we get the resulting, output, the resulting HTML back from the server into our browser. So PHP can be dynamic, right? This was, revolutionary. This was really great because it was easy. Other languages, of course, could be used for this and were. PHP is really the one that took off in popularity because it was easy to use. It was everywhere, right? Every terrible shared hosting we're all familiar with from the past had PHP in it, and it was just there out of the box, right? So one-on-one, Media Temple, GoDaddy, Gator Hosting. I might have made that one up. I don't know. There's so many. They all just had PHP there, and PHP, reigned supreme. And of course, there's WordPress, but we don't really talk about WordPress here. The point is that PHP was everywhere. It was super popular and is still super popular. And one of the reasons why, and one of the things about PHP that I super love, is how it is stateless, just like the HTTP protocol. Every request before does not affect the next request in PHP. We have a blank slate for every single web request. There's no global state to really care about, right? You don't necessarily have to care about blowing up your web server with memory leaks like you might with other languages. And generally, I find that this just makes life a lot easier for us as programmers. Okay, so of course there's pros and cons to this. The pros, like I just said, we really have a simpler mental model of how our code is going to work, right? Every request reboots the entire world, so we don't have to care about, state from previous requests affecting stuff in some global namespace within our framework, right? That's great. That is a huge benefit. It makes life a lot easier. That also makes life jumping into other programming languages a little harder because all of a sudden you have to care about this little extra thing that might result in issues down the line. Now, of course, there are cons to this as well. For example, PHP has to recreate every connection it might make to an external service on every single web request, right? So your connection to Redis, your connection to the database like MySQL and all that good stuff, it has to remake a new connection every single web request, which actually is a little slower because that's like a new TCP connection. It can't make use of what other languages do of things like connection pooling. This in practice doesn't end up being a super big deal, but it is or would be nice to have, if PHP could do that. It is also sometimes a little bit grim to have to reload your entire framework in every web request, but things like opcache really help out with that, right? Because it caches the files, so it doesn't have to reread and reparse them in every single request. There's already a cache of the bytes that make up your code, right? It's already all set to go and ready to run, except a new process still has to be spun up. It doesn't just have everything in memory already like other languages do. So there is a slight penalty for that, but PHP is still really fast regardless. So this does actually make PHP kind of a weirdo, right? But I love it for that because the mental model of how your program works is just so much simpler to reason about.